This is the hardest juggle level I have ever cleared. It took me just under 22 hours, and I'm going to break down exactly what makes it so hard. The level starts, and I do a quick juggle with this spring. I'm actually going to hold on to the spring all the way until the subworld. The first really hard trick is coming up. I have to throw the spring up, throw the shell up, re-grab the spring, throw it to the right, and then grab the shell to continue juggling them both. The fast throw inputs and the directional throws make this trick really hard for me, and it took me about 4 hours just to get consistent at it. The next setup is also pretty tough. You have to throw the spring to the right of the shell, and grabbing the shell afterwards can be fairly precise. Not to mention the spring comes down pretty quick, so you have to get rid of the shell quickly. Then you do a quick double up throw, or as I call it, a duppy, and then use the spring to enter the pipe. So far, so tough, but the subworld gets even harder. It starts by giving us another spring, and we'll use it to activate an off-screen shell for us to bounce off of. Then we drop the green shell and bonk it with our head onto the spring that we just threw to activate the on-off block and get a bounce. Then we do 2 more shell jumps, and here we reach the hardest part of the level. We now have 3 items that we need to juggle instead of 2. This trick is basically a shell swap, an already advanced mechanic, but with a spring added in the middle of it. This section of the level was easily the hardest part to learn. I would estimate that I spent 6 hours on this one section before I was somewhat consistent, and then I spent more time practicing to improve that consistency. The last trick of the subworld is no walk in the park either. You have to drop the spring, drop the shell above your head, bonk the shell onto the spring, and then jump off the shell into the pipe. There's a lot that can go wrong here. You have to drop the spring extremely late, or else the trick won't line up. That means that I often didn't repress Y in time, and kicked the shell instead of grabbing it. That, and the fact that you can bonk the shell the wrong way, made this trick much harder than it looked for me. Once you're back in the overworld, the hard part is over, but you're not completely home free. You still have this small juggle section and a slope spring jump nigh, which can be pretty precise. Let me tell you, it does not feel good to fail this trick. Fortunately, I would only die like that once, and not long after that clip, I would get the clear on this level in just under 22 hours. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, consider subscribing, because the next level that I play is probably going to take me over 100 hours to beat.